Hello everyone and welcome back to the Europe Park. This is part 16. Now, as you may know, I have been working on the UK. So far, I finished England and Wales. So now I just have Scotland and Ireland to do left. So the first thing I do is make SimFox's logo. Now, I assume most of you guys know who SimFox is. He is working on this park with me. This is a collaboration between me and SimFox and also Henk and Etzeren. But there's a reason why I chose SimFox to put down for Ireland. It's sort of an inside joke. SimFox sometimes likes to post pictures in Discord of his beverage, and I always make fun of him that he drinks too much, but I'm just messing with him. I kind of came up with this idea as a joke, and I just kind of brought it up in conversation, saying, wouldn't it be funny if I made the SimFox logo for Ireland? And SimFox was like, yeah, I'm down. Great idea. You know, honestly was not expecting that answer, but I did it anyway. So now as for the logo itself, I think it turned out pretty well. I've been doing quite a bit of pixel art, I guess you can call it, in RCT. For those of you who aren't too active on our Discord or are not even in the Discord, we do these challenges like every month, and last month's challenge was the Freedom Challenge, where we got to build anything we want. So I decided to go outside the box and do I did this giant pixel art. I ended up making this, I made the OpenRCT2 logo and made it the max width possible. It was 254, I think that's the max you can make the park. 254 by 147 tiles. I didn't count how many base blocks I used, but it was probably around 20 to 25,000. It started off pretty fun, but I had to work on it like 15 minutes a day, otherwise I got bored because it's literally just base blocks. But when I was like 95% done with it, I'm like, I'm gonna finish this darn thing. So total, it took me about 3 weeks, and I was happy with the result. I ended up getting 3rd place overall out of 15 participants, so I'm happy about that too. So if RWE or Deer Clink, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, are watching this, congrats on getting 1st and 2nd place, and thanks to everyone else for participating in that challenge. And also for a side project, just kind of a random for fun thing, I also made a very small Mario pixel art. But since it was only like, I don't even know, like 50 base blocks or so, I wanted to do something interesting with it. So what I did was lowered the land first, and the land that I lowered was in the shape of Mario. Then I placed path in the hole and then put lights on the path. There's this cool option in OpenRCT, if you don't know, where you can make it go at night and then have all the lights actually light up. Sadly, it's a bit glitchy, only works on a couple angles, but it's still pretty awesome. Then instead of normal base blocks to actually make Mario, I used abstract, those flat abstract pieces, if you know what I'm talking about. And it looked good. The lights light up through the abstract, and oh, it looked awesome. But this time I did it out of flowers. For the SimFox logo, I used quarter tile flowers. Why, you may ask? Well, 2 reasons basically. One, it looks more peaceful, beautiful, and gentle, friendly. And the other reason is that it was the pretty much the only quarter tile piece pretty much that we had available in the scenery selection. Of course, I could swap out some scenery for some quarter tile base blocks, but I'm trying to not do that since I did that in the previous episode a lot for the castle coasters I made. We didn't have any quarter tile base blocks or anything, and flowers were my only choice, and I needed to do quarter tile because otherwise it would end up being literally exactly 4 times as big, which I don't want. It would look weird. And the bigger it is, the bigger it looks because it's more detailed. You know, if I made a 10 by 10 SimFox logo versus a 100 by 100 SimFox logo, the 100 by 100 will look way better because I have way more room for detail, if that makes sense. But the bad thing is, the bigger I make it, the weirder it looks when the park is zoomed out, because you'll just see this giant random SimFox logo. Didn't want to make it too big to make it weird, but I did make it big enough to see what it is, if that makes sense. I think if you are a SimFox subscriber, you'll definitely see it. Then after the SimFox logo, I filled the empty spaces with miscellaneous bushes and shrubs and small trees and stuff. Because the SimFox logo is not square, it's essentially in the shape of a fox face. So I had quite a bit of empty space after I surrounded it with paths. So yeah, just sort of random bushes, shrubs, small trees, palm trees, even some statues and fountain type stuff as well. Made it nice and pretty. Hope you guys like. Then I surrounded the logo with buildings. I made a food court. We didn't have a whole lot of food stalls in this park yet, so I decided to add quite a bit of food and drink and other miscellaneous stalls. As for the 4 buildings that I surrounded the logo, I had lots of fun with these buildings. So I made the first building only using the colors black, white, and gray. Now, you may think that would look boring, but I honestly was pretty happy with the results on the first building. It looked pretty fancy. So I decided to use the same colors for all the 4 buildings. I used pretty much the same scenery, mostly the Europe theming, obviously. And every now and then I'll pick some abstract or mechanical or mine theming or something. I think those 3, and sometimes the in-game normal walls and such, and roofs. But yeah, I used pretty much the same scenery, but the shapes of all the buildings are all different. I also made it just look different in general. I think having 4 identical buildings would be less appealing to look at, in my opinion. So I changed it up. One thing that I have troubles with is detailing. I tried using the steel latticework scenery, I think it's called. That's that scenery piece that has that square border and an X in the middle, basically. Sorry if that's hard. I can't describe things well. I suck at explaining things, but I also use different fences just to try to fill up any bland spots. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Now, this plaza area is not connected to anything yet. It's pretty close to the Dueling Dragons coaster I made in the previous episode, but I don't want to connect it just yet. I have a plan next episode to make a Loch Ness Monster coaster for Scotland, and in the process of making that, I'll connect the whole area together and finish up the UK. England, Wales, Ireland, then Scotland. Then after that, I'm not even sure. I think maybe I'll work with SimFox a little bit for France, maybe, or I'll do Italy or some other country, who knows, or you guys can give suggestions and stuff. Can't really think that far ahead, but I know for sure I'm going to do Scotland next, and I'm almost positive I'm going to do some sort of Loch Ness Monster coaster. I'm pretty hyped for that, but if you have any ideas of what coaster to use for a Loch Ness Monster coaster, please feel free to give any suggestion. I'm thinking some sort of water ride, like maybe a water coaster. But, you know, on the other hand, a Loch Ness Monster is pretty scary, so maybe I'll have like a giant roller coaster of some sort. I'm not sure. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to my wonderful collaborators. I do not know who is going next, so I just keep an eye on all of our channels for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.